Hi everyone! First of all, I just want to say thank you so much for all your comments on my first video. I really appreciate it. It was my first one, so I wasn't sure how everyone would react to it, but I am really grateful for all your comments. And today I will be doing a review on my classic flap that you guys have seen if you watched my first video. I did compare that with the Coco handleback, but I thought I would do a more in-depth review about the classic flap, and especially because mine is in lambskin, I thought that people would want to know how it wears. So here she is. I believe that all the classic flaps and the reissue bags are all packaged in this white dust bag, whereas like the other bags, like the boy bag and all the seasonal bags, are packaged in the black dust bag, like the Coco handle one I showed you guys. So here's the packaging, and when you open it, it has the Coco Chanel. I'm not sure if it's actually Coco Chanel. I think it is. The picture of this lady here. Um, so this is how the dust bag looked like, and I always store it in this dust bag. I bought this bag in Italy, and I live in the US, so unfortunately I couldn't bring back the box, which I was so upset about because it's a beautiful magnetic box, but I couldn't bring it, so I can only bring this dust bag and all the booklets and all that stuff. But yeah, I always keep it here, and I've had this bag for about 3 years now. So I think it's a kind of a good time to do a review on it because 3 years is quite a long time. So this is the medium large classic flap in black lambskin with gold hardware. So a lot of people are confused about the sizing. It's called medium large. So there's a mini and there's this medium large, and then there's a jumbo and a maxi. I'll put the dimensions of this bag below just so you know which exact bag I'm talking about. So I'll put all the measurements below. But yeah, so that's the bag. And when I store it, I just put this protective felt on. This was given by the store, so it came like this. Um, and I put the chain kind of like so. So I'm just going to show you first how I store it, and then we're going to get on to the review. So when you open it, so if you can see the felt kind of protects the inner flap of the bag, like that. Although, like, I will get on it in a minute, but it doesn't really protect it when you're wearing it, of course, because you're not like just gonna put this on when you're outside. But I do still put this on when I store it, and then I just put some kind of paper inside to just keep the shape a little bit. So this is how I do it, how I store the chain. So the chain looks like so. It's pulled all the way in, and then I just put the chain inside like that. I think it's probably the best way to store the chain. So I'm just gonna take it out because it's easier for the review. So like so. I'm gonna go on with how the bag has been wearing, and I'll get on into what I think about it, if I would buy it again, and what kind of fits inside. Although I kind of already went into what fits inside on the first video that I made, but I'll just go into that a bit more. So how it wears, you actually be surprised to know that it's still in a very, very excellent condition, in my opinion. At least for the leather, so for the lambskin leather, I think a lot of people think that it's a very, very, very delicate, and a lot of people really avoid buying one. But I'm telling you, it's not as delicate as what people think. At least from my experience with this bag, it's really not that delicate at all. And one reason that I can think of is because of the size. It's a pretty small bag. So I'm not sure how this would do in a jumbo size, but I think because it's smaller, it can kind of like protect it more. You know, when you're carrying a shoulder, it's kind of, your body is like kind of covering it. But if it's a larger bag, maybe when people bump into you or something, I think some areas of the bag would not be as protected as if it's smaller like this. But mine, so like I said, I've had it for about 3 years now. And to be honest with you, before I made this video, I was trying to check if there's any scratches on it. And so let's start with this flap right here, the top part. And honestly, there's nothing at all. I'm trying to see it up close again. So I'm gonna put it up close. There's nothing whatsoever on this whole flap here. And then going on to the hardware, there's maybe a tiny bit of hairline scratch, but almost nothing. Oh, that might have been difficult to see. I don't know how to make this because it's like too shiny, I think, on a camera. But there's really almost nothing at all on the hardware. There's a tiny hairline scratch right here, but really not noticeable at all unless you look at it very closely. And then I'm gonna open it, and we're gonna see this area right here, kind of the bottom half of the flap. And this one has a bit more wear. So in here, I don't know if you can see it. It has a tiny bit, I don't know if it's a scratch. It's kind of, yeah, I guess you can call it a scratch. So there's a tiny bit of scratch right there. And then, honestly, there's nothing at all. I think that's the only one. So the quilted part on this bottom half, I think that's the only one there. So right here, this one, that's the only scratch, I think, on this bottom half of the flap. And so I'm gonna talk about the quilted first. The quilted parts first. So this top half on the quilted ones, there's nothing at all, and it's also like very puffy. It's not gotten flattened at all. And the bottom half, like I said, is just only one right here, like a tiny scratch. So that's what it is on the front. And then on the back, nothing at all on this whole top part. Hope you can see it on the camera. And then let's move on to the pocket here. I'm gonna see it again. Yep, there's nothing at all. There's no scratch whatsoever. It's still all in excellent condition. And then moving on to kind of the rest of the bottom half of it. There might be, probably like this one is the only where I can tell. If you can see there, so there's a tiny bit. I don't know if it's a scratch or if you can call it kind of more like indented. So right there, right here. Sorry about my nails. I'm trying to get it done as soon as possible. So that's kind of the only one. Other than that, I think the whole back part of the flap is in perfect condition. And then the last part, I think, is just the top part right here. And nope, there's nothing at all. So I think from the camera that might look like it's indented, but it's not. I think it's just the angle. There's really nothing at all. Yeah, that's just a reflection. Right here, I feel like it looks as if it's indented, but it's not. So all still in a perfect shape, perfect leather, no scratches, nothing. And on the bottom of the bag, I don't know what this white thing is, but there's kind of, I don't know if you can see it. Let's see if there's a better lighting. Like right here. I'm trying to find a lighting that would kind of show it, but I'm not sure what this is. It's kind of a bit of like a white thing. It's probably coming off of somewhere, but I think I can easily wipe that off. there is nothing again. There's no scratches or anything. It's in a very good condition. And then moving on to the inside, this is where it gets more wear. But I think again, I think no one would ever see the inside anyway. So just based on what I've talked about so far, there's nothing on the quilts, there's nothing here on the back, and there's nothing on the bottom. So I think personally that would be kind of my main concern, because that's what's like visible to the eyes. Whereas if you open it, I just don't think anyone would see, but we'll still go into the inside and see how it is. So this part definitely has more scratches. Let's see. It has a bit of scratch here. I'm sorry about the lighting, guys. I think it's not really showing on a camera, but is that better? So there's just a little bit of scratch here. Yeah, I really don't think it's showing. So just right here, and then kind of right here, right by the flap. Oh, I think you can see it right there. Right here on my middle finger. But other than that, I think this whole like part here, the top part all the way here, is completely fine, other than those two light scratches I mentioned. And then the most visible wear for me, as what I can see, is this inside flap right here, from the chain. So first is this one right here. There, this is like the very, very visible one. You can see it there. So it's because of the chain, this zipper right here, and yeah, I think it's mainly the zipper here that's damaging that. So I think you can really tell there's wear there, right here. And kind of also on the top part right here. There you go, you can really see it, I think. Right there. So that's the most wear. I'll show you again. Right there. And here. So on the other side, it's not really as noticeable. So on the left side, it's not really noticeable at all, because the zipper is on this side. And yeah, the other part of this inner flap is actually completely fine. It's just this part right here, which I mean, it is noticeable, but I personally don't really care. But I don't know, if you do care, then I know that it will definitely have wear on here. I don't know how the caviar would hold up because I don't have it, but on the lambskin it definitely would have wear here by the zipper. So that's what it is. And then there's another kind of like big pocket right here. And I think the leather here doesn't really get any wear at all. I don't know if you can see it. There's no scratches at all. And on the burgundy part, I think there's no wear whatsoever. So there you are. There's nothing at all on this burgundy part right here, as far as I can tell. Yep, there's nothing at all. And then on the inside, nope, there's nothing at all. Obviously, you cannot see it, I don't think. But there's really nothing on the burgundy. I even tried to put my phone's flashlight so I can see the inside of it, and there's really nothing. No scratches, nothing. Yeah, all the burgundy part I think are still in perfect condition. So The only thing that I would mention other than this part right here on the inner flap because of the zipper is the shape of the back on the side. So obviously in the front it's still perfect. It just still looks like when I got it. The back also is still perfect. Now the only wear is the side. So the shape of it, there you go. To be honest, I think you can prevent it because I think when I probably like 2 years ago, I did wear this bag a lot at one point, and I did stuff it quite a lot. And I think that's what's causing the shape to be like this. So I think if you're kind of more careful and if you do not stuff your back too much, I think you can prevent this. But this is what happens. I mean, it's really not a big deal. Like, it looks like this, you know, when you wear it on the side. And the other side looks like this. So it is kind of out of shape. So if you wear it, you know, it looks like this. So it's not too bad. Like, it doesn't look really weird or anything. But it does, like, the shape was not like this before. Obviously, it kind of looks, you know, a bit more like that. But I just want you to know that if you're kind of stuff your back a bit, like what I did, like 2 years ago, then this might happen. So this is how the shape is, and I'm gonna show you the other side again one more time. So that's how it is. Although it's still, I think it's still keeping its structure. It's just a bit out of shape here, but it's still keeping its structure. And corners, it's still perfect. There, and then here, there's nowhere at all. On the other side, also, yep, there's something. It's still really good. Yeah, so nowhere in the corners, nowhere in these corners either. Here, nothing. Right here also. Oh, and then this one, I don't know if you can see it, but it's kind of also a bit out of shape here. If you can see that indentation there, compared to this one, which is more like all around it here. So that's kind of the perfect shape, and this one is a little bit indented. So yeah, that's kind of all I can think about. And the rings are all still perfect. Nothing has peeled off or anything. The gold rings there and here, nothing has peeled off. And the chain as well. I don't know if I'm lucky, but the hardware is just so perfect. There's really no scratches, no peeling or anything on all these chains as well. I'm trying to like check on it. Yeah, it's all in great condition. So I think, in conclusion, the most noticeable wear that I can find again is this one here on the flap. That's resulted from the zipper being here. So that's definitely you're gonna see a wear. And then just the shape, so the sides, like I had told you guys just now, especially this one is more out of shape. So that and that. But overall, I mean, I think it's still in excellent condition after 3 years. And I mean, I do take care of it. I don't just like throw it away, but I also don't baby it like that much. So I think I don't wear it quite like normally. I'm not like extra careful. I am careful, but not super extra. So I think given how I've been wearing it and how often I've been wearing it, and also that I've had this for 3 years, I think lambskin is really not as fragile, as delicate as what people think, and I think it's not as hard to take care of as what people might think. And obviously, of course, this is in black, so I have no idea about color transfer. I do not have any light color lambskin bag, so I'm not sure how that would go. But putting aside the color transfer, I think just kind of the scratches and all that stuff that people worry about, it's just so good. Like, I mean, there's really no scratch at all on the exterior, which I'm very, very pleased about. So I think if you are thinking of buying one, just go for it. I know a lot of people prefer the look of it. I think it looks more luxurious, and I love the feel of it. It's just so soft, and I love it. So just go for it. Like I said, I'm not sure if you would wear it this well if it was a bigger bag, just because it's harder to protect. But again, I haven't been really protecting it like that crazy or anything. So I think it's really excellent bag, and don't worry about it. Just go for it if you really like the lambskin look. So yeah, that's my review on it. So just things that, like, just to recap again, the sides are a bit out of shape and the inner flap. But other than that, I love this bag. I definitely think this is probably the first Chanel bag that everyone should have. If money is not an issue, I think this is definitely the perfect kind of first Chanel bag. I think the size is very classic, it's very ladylike. The only thing is that I think it is too dressy sometimes because of the size, and also I think just a combination of the color and the skin. Lambskin with gold hardware, I think this is a very kind of formal looking bag. Although I do also wear this with jeans, but kind of depending on your style, it might be quite formal. So if you are a more kind of casual type of person, I'd probably go for the silver hardware. But I love this bag, like I really, really do. I think it's very beautiful, very well made, and I think it's just, it's been holding up very well after 3 years, and I can see how this bag could be like a very good investment. I can see myself and maybe my kids, grandkids later on wearing this. I think it's very worth it. So, yeah. I think this video is already too long. So if you want to see what can fit inside the bag, you can watch my previous video before this one, because I did try to fit in some stuffs. And I probably would put also a list of things that can fit in the description box. One thing that I would like to know is that it can fit an iPad mini. I tried it on, so I don't know if you guys are interested in that, but it can fit an iPad mini. But yeah, if you want to see what can fit inside, then please watch my previous video, just because it's already been 23 minutes and I don't know if this video is already too long. So I hope that was helpful for you. Sorry if I'm rambling, but yeah, I think just the last words, just go for it. If you're looking for a lambskin bag, if you like it but you're too worried about having it, about taking care of it, I think it's great. So just go for it. I love this bag. It's probably one of my favorites ever. So yeah, I hope that was helpful. So that's it. Bye guys.